I don't want to throw him under the bus here. He's a good mate of mine, but like he might not like me saying this, but Mini Minter almost pulled out the night before the Wembley Cup.
Oh my days.
I've got enough money in my bank to probably pay rent for about 4 months, I'd say, from work. And if I don't make it, I'll have to just reassess my career, because if I can't make it work, then I'm not good enough. That's what I said to myself. And he'd literally left the room and been pulled back in before he sat down with me. And he was really not in a good mood. And he sat down and I was like, Riyad, nice to meet you. He went, yeah, just so you know, this is going to be your worst interview ever. So
he said that.
And I was like, some people might think Toby, some of the girls didn't like him at first because he was a bit sort of moving from girl to girl. But I know Toby, he's a lovely boy. He's not trying to pretend he was there for love. Because let's be honest, none of them are there for love. Like, why would you go on a TV show to find love? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, welcome to the SDS podcast, guys. This is the place where I speak to the most interesting people in the world of sports, whether they're the athletes themselves or just people that are in and around sports. And today's one is a very special one. I say it for every episode, I know, but this guest is actually really, really special because we'll get into it, but this is one of the main reasons why I'm sitting here, okay? And we've got Spencer Owen.
Hello, mate.
You're going to get one man applause because just me and you sitting here. Thank you.
I am Spencer Owen.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
Mate, it's an absolute pleasure, pal.
I appreciate it. Generally, I was like, I was making my list of people I wanted to get on because I only started doing these like one-to-ones recently. And you were like, I put your name and I put a star next to your name. Because I was like, that's one of the people that I want to really get on. What I want to talk about, there's a FIFA Player stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very different character to who you are now. Where did that come about? How was he born? Yeah. I know it was Copper 90 and stuff like that, but what was the conversation for that?
Well, my job at Copper 90, I was always trying to get more presenting gigs and stuff with me on camera, which was not necessarily like easy to do.
Yeah.
So I was my main job at that time was channel manager was my title really, and audience development was another title. So I was like basically trying to get us views, trying to get subscribers. It was a Google Originals channel, so I mean Google had funded the channel with quite a lot of money. But we'd only get more money if we hit certain targets. I think one of the targets was 100,000 subs, etc., etc. So I had this big whiteboard in the office, and I was like, how many subs we need each month to get what we need? Are we going to do it? Are we on track? We would collaborate. We spent some of our money working with people like JJ and other YouTubers, because that was, back then, if someone liked one of your videos, it was like winning their subscriber feed and stuff. Really easy way to share subscribers. Yeah. So that was good, but it's expensive, relatively speaking.
Of course.
So we needed a cheaper way to make content that involved collaborating. Clearly, even though we were trying to make a football channel, FIFA was just gold dust on YouTube. JJ proven that, right? Yeah. So we're like, okay, how can we want to still do stuff with JJ, but we can't do it every week. He's busy, etc. How can we get our own content? So it's a really weird one, because I was explaining this to someone the other day. It's like we reverse engineered that show. Like the character came last. Yeah. So I basically said, I think me and a guy called Neil, who actually works at Hashtag now.
Yeah, Neil, legend.
We sat down and we said, we need a thing and we need a vehicle. And the inspiration came from two characters. It came from the Stig of Top Gear. Yeah. So and the real inspiration was a guy who was on YouTube at the time called Man vs. Booze. Okay. He was a university student who wore a balaclava and did ridiculous drinking challenges. Yeah. So he used to down a bucket of absinthe. You guys have never had absinthe, I don't know if you drink.
I know, but it
was horrible.
Harsh,
I couldn't do like a shot glass. And it was insane. But the whole allure was he had a hidden face. Yeah. I think there's something in that. No one's done that for FIFA. Yeah. So we sort of pitched this idea. We started going to brands and saying, if we did this, would you be able to give us time with celebrities and stuff and playing at FIFA, that sort of thing. We wanted to do it with YouTubers as well. So we drew up this whole thing. Like, we're going to work with Nepenthez, Cal Freezy, all these guys, go and play them at FIFA. Then it came to actually figuring out what the character was. Yeah. And like I say, I mentioned this to someone the other day. I don't know where the footage is, but we did a pilot of FIFA Player called the FIFA Gimp. Okay. I wore an orange gimp suit. Yeah. We cut out a hole in my mouth so I could talk. Yeah. And the voice was like, "Hey, I'm the FIFA Gimp." It was like the worst thing you could imagine. Trust me.
I want to see that. Please keep
it does exist somewhere. It'll be on the unlisted Copper 90 videos or something. And the whole joke with FIFA Player, if people haven't seen it, it was like this guy who thought he was good at FIFA. Yeah. He was like you hated him, but you loved watching him lose. And I take the mick out of myself. That was the joke. If FIFA Gimp had ever happened, no one would ever loved it. They would just hated it. Yeah. It's the worst idea ever. So we looked at the pilot and went, we can't do that. Yeah. We went opposite end of the spectrum. I literally went down Sports Direct. Yeah. Bought all the chavviest clothes I could find. Yeah. We were like, he's going to be like a chav. He's going to be like thinks he's a rapper. Yeah. But he's just rubbish at FIFA and he's not as good as he thinks he is. Yeah. And that's what landed really. But Obviously, there was lots of little jokes in there, which I'm very happy with, and things we made along the way. But really, it created out of a need for subscribers.
Yeah, and do you think that helped? Do you think your like comedy background helped with that? Like when you were studying or you were doing stand-up comedy, radio stuff?
Stand-up was the best thing. I honestly, even if people don't want to have a career in that, once you do stand-up, nothing scares you.
That's on my bucket list, actually. Just do one stand-up gig. It's on my bucket list. I mean, I'm terrified.
When you've had plenty of bad gigs, as well as good gigs. When you've had those bad gigs where you want the world to like eat you up and be like, I don't know what the hell am I doing with my life, sort of thing. 5 years later, if you've got to do some business presentation or something, it's just like
it's nothing.
You don't know what I've had to go through.
Yeah, of course.
It's so easy. So that's massive for confidence. And then FIFA Player, there's the thing about having a mask on. It really does free you of any sort of fear, basically. Because you know, I'm not actually associated with the things that I'm being said. I'm playing a character.
Yeah.
And a lot of YouTubers, even myself to an extent, as Spencer, we're still playing a character, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know, Sharky isn't the exact same Sharky off camera.
Of course, yeah.
Because we're all putting on some sort of... We wouldn't be able to do it otherwise.
Yeah, for entertainment.
The FIFA Player is like the nth degree of that.
Yeah,
just
different
this
level.
mental man.
Was there times where, obviously you film out and about, but there's times that people, like fans would see you in FIFA Player gear and like try and find out who was under that mask or anything? I always have
honestly, if you go and ask Fez Calfreys, all the original people we did, for the first year, I never took my mask off. Like, if I was in that, even to the point
not even when you were shooting with them.
When I went to JJ's house and played him and Deji.
Yeah, I remember.
Before they were ready to shoot, I waited in the street.
Oh my!
And it was so bad that I waited in full character.
That's method
called
acting.
The police in that road because she thought I was some guy about to rob a house because I was in full gear.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wouldn't come out of character at all.
Yeah.
First time I ever came out of characters when we went. Do you remember this thing called the Kick TV Invitational?
Yes, the tournament. Yeah.
That was. I thought I'm going to be with these guys for a week. I can't do this for a week.
Of course.
So I just used to take my mask off and just be, hi guys, I'm Spencer. I'm actually a normal guy. And half the people were like, okay, it makes sense. And the other half were like, what? They couldn't believe it.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was quite different as FIFA Player. To the point where I hope they don't mind me saying this, but you know, two lovely lads on YouTube, the Two Sync boys.
Yeah, the twins. Yeah.
They actually refused to put the video of us because they thought I was a dickhead.
Oh,
basically.
wow.
They thought that
character
FIFA Player,
was...
they're like, I don't want him in my house. He's a horrible guy. And I said to them, because that's when I met them, I said,
of course.
You realise now that it's an act, right? They're like, now we get it.
Yeah.
But we just thought Copper 90 had found this absolute dick on the street.
Oh, man.
I was like, well, no, it's not like that. But
wow. That's interesting. But okay, so when did you decide now to show your face and transition from FIFA Player to Spencer? So I remember the video you made when you were like, you killed him off kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing with FIFA Player was it was, you know, it was great in the sense of what I talk about, freedom to just mess about. Yeah. But it was the only thing I could do. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd never be able to do anything else to Spencer because no one knew who Spencer was. Of course. So it wasn't getting me any other opportunities. So I was kind of like, in the nicest way possible, I was like Copper 90's whim. Yeah. They wanted to do a show, I didn't want to do a show, or I wasn't building any sort of career for myself, you know. So we had to kind of make that decision to end the character. Really. And it's one of them, like, we still did it for like 2 and a bit years, loads and loads of videos across different YouTube channels. Like, we made a lot of content. We did our own sort of sitcom type mockumentary series. We did all sorts. Nice. So it had a good run. But yeah, you can't do that. I couldn't have done that forever. Of course. You just get too hot in the mask.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can't imagine. And it's all like it's a black.
Some of those. We went to Spain, went to America, to Texas, went to very hot places in that suit. In fact, the Texas episode, I think I ended up wearing a vest.
You changed his costume just for that.
But yeah, that was the other thing with that character though. Yeah. In the time when YouTube hadn't like become, people weren't traveling around the world for it and stuff. I went to all these YouTubers' houses. People like, remember Gujon Daniel in Iceland? No one had been to Iceland to visit him. Do you know what I mean? I went to Iceland. I went to Texas and New York and Atlanta and to Air Japes and all these guys. I went to Spain, I went to all different places in a mask to do YouTube collaborations. Like, it's pretty fun.
It must have been fun back then, but then you were like, I want to do my own thing. I want to be known as Spencer. And then you were making your FIFA videos on your channel. Where I came across you is I got into YouTube pretty late, like watching YouTube pretty late. Like all the guys in the house, even though we all started around the same time, apart from Nico, was a bit earlier. They grew up watching YouTube. So for me, it was like, I was playing football at college and stuff like that, trying to actually make it far. And then I came across you, and I think it was the Zarate Kid series. Yeah, the Zarate Kid. Yeah, it was the Zarate Kid series, and I just got addicted, man. Like I was addicted to that series. I was watching every episode, and it was so sick. And then that's when the first Wembley Cup started. So that's all. Where did that idea come from?
Wembley Cup idea came from. There's an event every year called Gamescom that a lot of the YouTubers used to go to. All the Sidemen boys used to go there, and I used to go there as well. and I was there one year with the boys, and we were chatting at food. We went out for a meal one night, and a lot of it all liked playing football, but none of us really made football content. The closest you'd get would be the crossbar challenge video.
Yeah. Standard.
Obviously, I was playing Sunday League every week. I was like, but never making content out of it. And I looked around the table and I just thought, we've got it'd be quite cool to do a football game with these guys.
Yeah.
We haven't really done it at this point. So I said to the lads, because I'd come out of a bit more of a professional background than they had. Most of those boys are just out of school straight into YouTube. Yep. I'd worked for the production companies. I worked for Copper 90. Copper 90 were funded by YouTube, so I had contacts at YouTube personally. So I said, look, if I can come up with an idea that will end up in us doing some awesome football holiday or whatever, would you guys be up for it? And they were like, yeah, just, sort of you can use our name in a pitch. Let us know what you come up with. So I went to people I know at YouTube and said, look, I've got a group of guys here that I think would be quite a cool project. What can we do? And so YouTube actually I went on meetings with them with brands to see who could sponsor. I think we went and met Mars, like Mars Bars.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think there's another brand we met, and then we met EE.
Yeah.
And EE, so my pitch wasn't Wembley. I didn't think we'd get Wembley. Okay. My pitch actually was, I heard there was this football tournament in Vegas you could go to. I wanted to take all of us to Vegas. Yeah. And I realised half of them were under 21. So it wouldn't work. And then EE were like, well, you can have Wembley. We literally sponsor Wembley. I was like, well, that would be lovely. Please.
Yeah, of course.
I'll take that.
Of course.
And then the idea all kind of came from there. EE were putting a lot of money into it and stuff, so we had to get their money's worth. We made it a series rather than just a game. Yeah. We had the lead up to it where we built the teams, all that stuff. It was massive. I mean, that was huge for me. I mean, we're talking 2015, and we're talking, I think there was like a 2-week period where I gained the 3rd most subscribers on YouTube in that 2-week period. The whole of YouTube. Yeah, mad. I went from 150 to 800K subs in 2 weeks. It was and people have probably done that since. I'm sure they have, but this wasn't through. Course, it was through a game of football.
Yeah, of course.
Basically.
Yeah.
It had obviously huge people in it. It wasn't me they were coming to see. It was
a lot of names there. All
the sidemen apart from JJ. I'm not sure if Vicstar played actually, but JJ wasn't allowed to play in the first one. Oh, how come? It shows you how much time's changed, man.
Why wasn't
EE were worried.
The brand didn't.
Because of the content.
That's
there
mad.
was a lot of things he'd been involved in. He'd lost a few brand deals at the time. We did get him in the 2nd or 3rd one, which was great because I always wanted him in it. Of course. It actually turned out he couldn't have played in the first one anyway because he ended up filming that film with
film of Casper. Yeah.
Even just now talking about it, so much crazy stuff.
It's so
film with Casper Lee.
It's so long,
Yeah. So, but that was the massive. And we obviously did 4 Wembley Cups, but that first one was insane.
That one was. I remember watching it. And I think that's when I started. My first ever video was August 31st, 2015. So it was. So it was around the time when.
But was that the Wembley Cup that I met you in Chunks?
Did I go to the? I didn't go to the first one.
But it wasn't.
You've met Chunks.
Was it
you met Chunks at Wembley. Outside Wembley. You met Chunks outside Wembley because he worked in the cinema at Wembley Outlet.
See, I remember and
he's got a picture till today.
Yeah, I've seen it. And exactly. I see exactly where we met. I know. I remember walking out because I remember it was the reason I remember it. Because obviously I didn't know Chunks was at that point.
Of course, no, we were small.
Was because. No one was. It wasn't on a game day. We were there doing rehearsal or something. So no one was supposed to know we were there.
Yeah.
And he'd seen something. I think on one of our Insta or probably Snapchat back then. And I walked out, and he came up to us, and he was like,
of course,
have a little chat with him. But I always remember that thinking because he said to me at the time, I do YouTube. And you hear a lot of people say
all
that,
the time.
But I do remember. Swear down, I have said this to Chunks since. I do remember, and I think I even said it to one of the boys I was with. I was like, he'll do well, that lad, because I remember thinking he was quite proactive. He'd been working. He'd seen us at Instagram, come to match us, told us he did YouTube. I think he even probably told us his channel name.
Yeah, mad.
And I was like, oh yeah. And then years later, I remembered it was him. Before I'd even spoken.
That's insane.
That's the kid from Wembley.
That's insane. Yeah, because he literally worked around that area, so he must have saw your story and came down. And I remember that's when we first had a conversation. And I've had it here in front of me the whole time as a DM, because me and Chunks, we actually met through YouTube. We didn't even know who we were. Right. People think we grew up together. And our first DM conversation, one of our first DM conversations, I was like to him, who's your favourite YouTubers, by the way? And he said, Spencer FC, Chris MD, and Capgon Tom. And then I said, yeah, Spencer's my favourite. Oh, wow. He's mad consistent. And I said, mine are Spencer FC, Joe Weller, and Chris MD. That's not bad, is it? Not bad. But literally, like both of us, we didn't know each other, and both of us credit us starting to you.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? So, and literally, we both got videos from when we first started. He's 250 subscriber Q&A. He mentions you, and similar with me as well. So it's and it was around that time I was like, oh, I like this, and I was probably into football. And I remember watching Wembley Cup and seeing the episodes, and it was like, one day I want to be doing what he's doing, and I like to think we're doing okay now. And like you went from like an inspiration to a friend, hopefully.
Yeah, of course, mate. We're definitely friends. But I love that. Like, you know, you'll know as well, when you're in the middle of it, you're not thinking like, you're not necessarily doing it for someone else.
Of course.
You know, you love the idea that people watch it, but right then, I'm in the midst of it. I'm thinking like, I've just quit my job. This Wembley Cup needs to work. So I can pay my rent. You know what I mean? And obviously now we connect the dots back and we think how big the Wembley Cup was for my stuff. Yeah. But at the time, you're just trying to grind it out. But it's amazing to think that, and you know, it's a great to know. Like, me and Chunks were just talking about it outside. You know, for me, it all comes back to KSI. Like, even though I'm older than him or whatever, when I would never have quit my job to try and make, because when I quit Copper, I didn't have any money. Like, it wasn't like I was making money from YouTube. I was making zero money. I just said, I've got enough money in my bank to probably pay rent for about 4 months. I'd save from work. And if I don't make it, I'll have to just reassess my career, because if I can't make it work, then I'm not good enough. That's what I said to myself. Well, I'll move home. Luckily, I could have moved to my mum and dad's. I was still only 22 at the time. And just, I actually, in between, when I quit Copper 90, I spent a few months delivering solar panels for my dad.
Oh, wow.
Like, well, just to make things work financially. But yeah, we've all been there. Do you know what I mean? And like, when you're in that mode, you don't think about much else. But yeah, it's great to see and hear stuff like that, because you say I'm mad consistent, like I'm the opposite of consistent. My own channels now is the opposite of consistent.
But you're still very busy.
Yeah.
But sticking on the Wembley Cup for now, how hard was that to manage? And obviously you're filming, all the content was going on your channel. You had to get all the YouTubers every episode. And how stressful must that have been, all of that, the whole process?
Pretty stressful, to be fair. Like, my brother, who's a massive part of what I do now, Seb, he didn't work with me at that point. I didn't have an agent or anything, so it's literally just me.
Yeah.
And dealing with YouTube and EE and all these, you know, big, because people, that's the thing that I think we were one of the first in our little industry of football YouTube. I think we were one of the first to really up the production value, like, and stuff.
No, you were.
EE paid for that. That was something I wanted to do, and it's a lot of people. Like, it wasn't like, you know, it was meetings with 15 people in the room, and I'd have to tell them how I wanted to do things, and you have to be quite. None of these guys, even now, you go to these meetings and half the creatives don't know about YouTube. Back then, none of them had a clue what I was talking about. So I was like, you're just going to have to trust me. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. And there was stressful moments, mate. I mean, the key thing for me was getting it on my channel. I was like, I don't care about money, I didn't get paid for it or anything. I said, I want the content. I want the content to be on my channel. It couldn't be monetized, the content, because that was a raw EE. So I literally made no money from the series. But obviously, I got 600, 700,000 subscribers. Of course, I did make money eventually.
Yeah, of course.
And there was moments, I mean, I don't want to throw him under the bus here. He's a good mate of mine, but like, he might not like me saying this, but Mini Minter almost pulled out the night before the Wembley Cup.
Oh my days, why? On what basis?
At the end of the day, I have so much respect for the Simon boys. They're friends of mine as well, but on a work level, their grind is a joke.
Oh, different level.
Like, there was probably a time when I matched it for about a year on my own, but then they just carried on. And I was like, you're still doing this. So I have so much respect for those boys and no judgment whatsoever. But just, you know, from my perspective, guy organising this, I think it was silly things like, you know, this is a common thing on YouTube, people's sleeping pattern is all over the shop, right? And for whatever reason, that first Wembley Cup, it was the day after United Villa FA Cup final.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, they wanted the game played at like 9 a.m.
Oh, wow.
People don't know this because the first one wasn't live. We shot it in May. It got uploaded in September.
Well, the game?
The first Wembley Cup final was shot in May and uploaded in September.
What?
That's how long it took.
I didn't even know that.
No, not many people know that.
What?
It's a day after the FA Cup final.
Oh, my days.
It didn't go out to September. And so that early kickoff time killed us. Like, half the Sidemen boys hadn't slept.
Yeah.
So there's loads of things we could talk about the Wembley Cup, and my team in that first Wembley Cup did have the better team because we had the F2 boys. That wasn't my doing, whatever. But even if we'd had even teams, the boys hadn't slept on the other team, so we had a massive advantage there. And if I could have chosen it, I would have chosen an afternoon kickoff, because I knew even me, I didn't really want to play football at 9 a.m. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But it was just one of them where the coach had picked him up. We were all at the hotel waiting, and I remember seeing Rosershaw walk in, literally like, oh, I don't know. So there's things like that, and the Mini Minter thing was just he had loads of stuff on. He had loads of videos on. He was like, I don't think I can physically have the day off, sort of thing, to play football, which I just trying to say to him, like, and this is something I was saying to Chunks out there. I was like, sometimes you've just got to, me personally, you've got to take yourself out of work mode and go, I'm about to play football at Wembley. Now, we've all been lucky enough to do it. Even I said you do it the other day.
The other day.
We've all been lucky enough to do it. But this was, none of us had done it before at this point, as far as I was aware. what could you possibly have on?
Yeah, that's more important
than
Wembley.
But that's not meaning it's discredit. That's he's in that mode. I've got to get my video out that day. And I remember saying to him, because I necessarily didn't relate to him in the same way, because I come out of a production background that I didn't. Even though I did at that point, I didn't feel the need that I had to edit every video I made. Where he was like, "I need to edit," because I was saying, "Let me pay for an editor to do a video for that day."
Yeah,
but it's just not an option.
Yeah, of course.
So he did it. And it was there. It was good as gold. I'm just saying, from a stress perspective, the night before, I'm skyping him, going like, "Please come."
Yeah.
The whole thing will fall apart if you don't come.
Mad.
He did.
And the last thing I actually wanted to ask about Wembley Cup, the whole Manny switching teams. Obviously, madness. I don't know what actually happened, but obviously the storyline, you made it into a way where he was a spy. But what happened? Did they need the extra players?
That's a great example of how it's ultimately on me, that whole incident. People can miss and I think I learned a lesson there, the nuances of how YouTube viewers view content in comparison to how someone might view a sitcom on TV.
Yeah.
So what actually happened there was some feeling before the tournament that our team was stronger.
Okay.
So there was some concern. I think that was one of the things that the boys weren't happy about. So I said, look, I would love to give you Billy or Jeremy. I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed. Contractually, they have to play together. So who can I give you? And Manny's a strong player, as we know.
He is good. Yeah.
So we came to, and also it was kind of, because it was Sidemen V. It was kind of weird that he wasn't with them anyway, because his brother was there. Yeah. So we'll give you Manny. It's no problem. Like, it makes your team stronger. It's sweet. Yeah. But then me and EE and the production company trying to do better than just go, just so you know, guys, because we'd had all this build up with our teams, and Manny was on my team. In all the episodes. Yeah. So for me, just go, Manny's on their team. And I didn't necessarily want to say, we've given him Manny to make their team better. Yeah,
of course.
I was like, well, how can we do this creatively? And I said, obviously it was checked to Manny before, do you mind us saying that you've that you've like been a spy the whole time? And we're just thinking, it's all like Love Island, it's a scripted reality, like, who cares? Yeah. Manny just got loads of hate for it. Loads of hate for it.
Snake emojis and everything.
And I was like, okay, do I break the illusion? Yeah. Or do I... And bear in mind, again, filmed it in May, went up in September. We'd all forgotten about it.
You couldn't even change it.
And then it goes out, and people are like, oh, Manny's a snake. Well, hang on. So I obviously did put it right on Twitter and said, look, that was not Manny's decision. We put him in the other team. But that was just sort of went over the head of the... I wouldn't say went over the head of the audience, because they weren't in on the joke. Yeah. It was probably, in hindsight, a bad decision from me to put Manny in that position.
Yeah. Well, does he still get it, like... Now, do you reckon?
Manny was always sweet about it. Yeah. Like, he always knew, even though he probably was annoyed about it. Yeah. He was never annoyed with me, as far as I know. But I'm sure, I think people know. Yeah. If you watch the scene in the change room, we go, Manny, we all just do wrestling moves on his shirt.
Yeah, on his shirt. Of course.
But there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, man, that you say it's clearly a joke, and it doesn't go that way.
And then he missed a sitter as well, which doesn't help.
That's ideal.
For you, because it makes it even better. He's a spy. He left you, missed a sitter, and you guys won.
Loads of stuff in that game. Anis and Gibbs scores a goal that was given offside, which I think people think it wasn't. Yeah. And I'm saying it happened with Rotashaw as well. I think he might have scored a goal that was misruled. Yeah. You can see where this narrative came about the Spencer and the ref stuff. I would wish this stuff, these goals had gone in.
Everything just happens to work out for you, Spencer. Why is that? Maybe it finally came back to bite you in the butt. But we'll speak about that.
We won, didn't we?
Yeah, we did win the whole thing, exactly. And I played at centre back for you.
That ends well, exactly.
There we go. Plan, mate. Yeah, there we go. You've worked with obviously a lot of footballers over the time. What's it like? How do you make the footballers feel comfortable? 'Cause I know a lot of footballers are like always on edge sometimes and stuff like that. What is your method of thinking when you go into a shoot with a footballer?
I don't have one, mate. I would say
you just be yourself.
You be yourself, and some of the footballers are good lads, and some of them aren't. To be honest, like, it's luck of the draw. Yeah, I don't do a lot of stuff anymore, but when I was doing it more, I could go to an event like that and be like charming and nice and lovely, and Riyad Mahrez, for example, could be a complete dick back to me. That's just the fact. I don't think Mahrez is a bad guy. Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of people say he's had great experiences. Yeah. I just got him on that day.
On that day, yeah. Because I've got Riyad Mahrez literally written down here. Yeah. Because I remember seeing it, and obviously you spoke about it. But can you speak about here? Like, what happened with Riyad Mahrez, that shoot?
Nothing really. Like, it was in Leicester. It was the year they won the title. Yeah. Before they'd won it. And I'm up there, really early start. I think I'd got up about 5 to get there, doing this shoot with them. And luck of the draw, I was just the last one in the queue. So it was like, I think Copper 90 were there, EA Sports were there, whatever. And he was in even 2 people before me, he was trying to leave. And I could see him kicking off with his agent and kicking off with EA or whoever. I think EA were arranging it, people. I need to go home. I'm supposed to be home by now. And they were like, well, no, you're not. You're contracted to be here this long, but it's one of them. What do you do? And me being the last in the queue, I was looking at the people around me going, I'm screwed here. What am I going to do? Yeah. And so I get to him, and he'd literally left the room, and been pulled back in before he sat down with me, and he was really not in a good mood. And he sat down. I was like, "Riyad, nice to meet you." He went, "Yeah, just so you know, this is gonna be your worst interview ever." So
he said that,
and I was like, "Cool."
Oh my.
I'm thinking, right, I'm gonna have to really turn it on here. I'll get him laughing. I'll do something. He just gave me nothing.
Yeah.
If you actually watch it, I've obviously cut around it. Like, it still doesn't look great, the video. But
I've only seen what's come out.
Been there.
Yeah.
It was so awkward. And
you played a game of FIFA, right?
Played a game of FIFA. I think I chose Leicester.
Yeah.
And then he chose Barcelona, I think, and Real Madrid. And I was like, I want to score against him.
Yeah.
And it's like banter, isn't it?
Of course.
And I just score against him. I'm like,
yeah.
And I never got annoyed with him in the video, but in my head I was annoyed. So I was like, I'm going to give it to him a bit more now.
Yeah.
And he just sits there. He's like,
wow.
Cool, mate.
Yeah.
And I end up, I protected him in that video, really. If you watch the end of it, I say, look, he's probably really busy thinking about winning the title. He's not that talkative. It's still a pleasure to meet him. And it was nice to go up there, and I met other players on the day. Yeah. But I think quite short-sighted, not necessarily by him, but also by his agent and stuff who were there. I think it shows you a little bit how little they knew about YouTube back then. Yeah. Because the video I made of him got way more views than the thing he did with VA or the thing he did with Copper, all those things. And that was the one we should have been well behaved on, if you think about it. Because if you look at the comments on that video, they slate him. Yeah, of course. So it is what it is. But, you know, there's no secret code to it. It's just the footballer. It's on the footballer. Of course. If they're in a good mood and they're nice, they'll act professionally. Yeah. And obviously you're a big West Ham fan, and you've had the chance to, like, it was a kit launch you did. Yeah. I hosted a kit launch quite a few years ago. What was that like? Was that like a big moment for the child inside you? Yes and no. It was. I filled in for someone. I think I filled in for Mark Wright, presenter, Towie guy, because he pulled out. It wasn't like a paid gig or anything. It was just asked me to do it. Obviously an honour. His first season at London Stadium. The event itself wasn't amazing, and I think I took some of the blame for that for some reason. Like, it actually was because I was a YouTuber. I think I was probably one of the first YouTubers to do something like that with their club. And it actually led to some animosity between West Ham fans and me for a while, which was disappointing, to be honest, because I was just one of them who'd got an opportunity through hard work. But the event itself was fine. That's the other thing. I've done. I do a lot of presenting now, and people always assume, because this word YouTuber gets thrown about, like, oh, you're quite a good presenter for YouTuber. Well, no, I was doing presenting before I was a YouTuber. Like, it's actually my vocation, if anything. And because alongside all copyright and all that stuff, not only was I doing stand-up, I was presenting things. I used to present festivals and all these different stuff. So it was like, this is what I am actually sort of trained to do. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And, people just think YouTubers are only good in their bedrooms. Yeah. We're in my bedroom now. No, but you can be great in your bedroom, but you can also be good outside your bedroom. Do you know what I mean? And every YouTuber is different. Of course, 100%. It's like calling us an interneter. Yeah. Oh, but people always, but everything ends with, for a YouTuber. So I'm like, oh, Sharky, you're good at football for a YouTuber. I'm like, just say I'm okay, do you know what I mean? Like, everything's like for a YouTube. Oh, you're pretty funny. But it happens a lot. But the main thing you do now is the hoodie you're wearing, the t-shirt got behind us, #United. Yeah. That started with your uni friends, right? Yeah, uni friends, my
Faisal,
brother, Faisal and those boys are mates from school. So like,
even
Faisal's
before
been my best mate since I was like 7.
Wow.
And yeah, so schoolmates, uni mates, my brother's mates. That was the core of the team. Yeah. That was actually, you had to be one of those things.
You had to be like a friend of yours to be.
And then we opened it up.
But I'm assuming you never ever dreamed it'll get to like what it's like now, right?
I never thought we'd do this, what we've done with our club. Yeah. But when we did #, before we actually went down that route, we did have a meeting, Seb and I, about trying to get some money from a brand to buy a non-league club. Like, that was an angle we liked, because we grew up around non-league. My dad's our physio. He's always been physio at this sort of level. Okay. And so what we're doing now has always been on my mind, like creating a football club, maybe even a professional football club. Wow, but I didn't think it would go the way it has with #. That's just kind of riding the wave, you know? Yeah,
and obviously # has always been something sick to watch. And then obviously, like,
you're wearing # colours now. Is that deliberate?
I didn't even know. I didn't even notice. You played at Wembley with some of your school friends. Yes. That's with the # boys.
3rd and 4th Wembley Cup were with #. Yeah.
That's mad.
And another time we played at Wembley. Yeah. So I've actually played at Wembley 5 times.
What was it like playing at Wembley Stadium with like your school friends?
In front of 34,000 people as well.
That's mad, isn't it? Like, was it?
Unbelievable.
What was that? Even before and after with your friends, did you guys like have a moment where you guys were like shared, like, wow, we're doing this, or we just did this? Or was it just like
more after? I'd say
after, yeah.
But the weirdest thing is that group of mates, my group of mates from school, like barely any of us got in the school team. Like, we weren't the good players in our school.
Yeah.
Two of my better mates who I would have invited to play.
Yeah.
One was who are very good footballers.
Yeah.
One has been living abroad for years, and the other one is a doctor. So he silly hours.
Course,
he missed. If they'd been in hashtag, they could probably still be playing for us now.
Yeah.
But the ones that actually said yes were the ones that weren't
that good.
And we're playing at Wembley.
And you guys actually,
And we've got mates from school, and I've got mates like who were the better footballers in school. They just look at me like, "How the hell did you do this?"
Yeah, you guys played at Wembley.
That's the funny. That's why I love it. To be honest, I say it like a lot. Is if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, you know, I was never going to be a professional footballer. I didn't even start playing football until I was like 14.
Yeah.
So I was never going to go down that route. But in the same way, you know, gaming content was a big part of what I did, and I played a lot of games growing up. I never thought I was going to be a professional gamer. No one was back then.
It wasn't a thing.
I never wanted to make computer games. I never thought I'd be a professional footballer. But you can have a career in those industries without having to do those roles. I think that's something that my journey is a good example of, is that you don't have to be the best at football. You don't have to be the best at even a game. You can just be passionate about something and turn that into a job.
Yeah. And then obviously we started hashtag, and then a lot of other YouTube teams started coming about, inspired by you. There's like teams like Rebel FC. Even us, we did Beta Squad FC. We played one game and that was it. Because I realized how hard it was, and I was like, it's a lot of work. I was like, I would ask Beta Squad boys. I was the one that was like proper pushing it, and like I was trying to run it. But we played one game and we're like, nah, not anymore. But so yeah, what did you think? What was it like seeing loads of other teams in YouTube starting?
Well, I'd say it's well documented. We weren't the first team.
Yeah,
I think Palmer's is probably the first
OG
YouTube content made of a football team.
Yeah.
You know, I actually nearly played for Palmer. Smith talked about it because I've known Smith for a while, and I was moving back to where I grew up, which is not far from Palmer's, and I needed a team because I've been playing for a team around here, and I said, Smith, can I come and play for Palmer's?
Yeah.
Before hashtag existed.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were the first for sure. We were the first to make a team for YouTube. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like, we weren't playing in a league.
Yeah.
We made a show for YouTube out of our team.
Yeah.
I think we were the first to do that. But even things like, you probably don't remember, there's a show called Fash FC when I was a kid. There's a guy called John Fashanu, who's a footballer.
I know John Fashanu, yeah.
And he is a channel called Bravo.
Okay.
And he made a team where it's like, I think they took over Hayes, which is not far from here.
Yeah, not far from here.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Sorry, cut that bit out. So they took over Hayes.
Yeah.
And they were like a similar level to what hashtag are now.
Oh, now, yeah.
And he became the manager, but it was a reality show. It was the first time anyone had seen a football changing room like that.
Yeah.
And that was a big inspiration for hashtag.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we got a lot of stick for that, to be fair, like what we did. You know, we weren't in a proper league and we were playing for the chairman's imaginary awards and stuff.
Yeah, I remember the chairman. Who was the chairman?
I'll go to my grave with that answer. You
I remember the chairman. There was always that. The chairman said we have to do this. Yeah.
All I'll say is everything up to that point I'd had any success with on YouTube involved a hidden character.
A character.
So we had to keep it going.
Yeah, I get it.
But we got a bit of stick from it from the traditionals. I mean, like I say, Smith and I are good friends, but at the time there was that little bit of a sort of cold war. Yeah. I think they threw a lot of shade our way because we weren't doing a Sunday football. Yeah. And I never wanted to do Sunday football because out of respect to Palmer's, they already did it. Why would I want to do it again? Yeah. and I played Sunday football. Yeah. Just didn't film it. I think that's our best. The two of the things we get the most stick for at hashtag are two of our most clever things, which is the name and the format we at the start. The things we used to get the most hate for. Yeah. Obviously, when we changed the format up and went into non-league, they couldn't ever go about that anymore. You know, the name not being a place.
Yeah, I saw you speak about this.
Some annoys some people, but there's loads of football teams that are places
prove them wrong. Yeah.
Do you remember Tottenham played that team Marine in the FA Cup last
year?
Marine isn't a place; it's named for a hotel.
Yeah, it's not a place.
They created their team from. There's like Port Vale isn't a place. There's loads of them.
Metropolitan Police.
Exactly. We're not the first, for sure. Yeah. And also, a load of the biggest teams in the world didn't start with the same name they have now. Man United were called Newton Heath. I think Arsenal were called Woolwich. Arsenal, So West Ham were called Thames Ironworks. So hashtag is actually a very, very normal thing. It's just in a different setting. Yeah. So like we're just a group of mates that created a team that became something bigger.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly what Thames Ironworks was. It's a group of guys who worked in a factory. Yeah. Play football together. You know, Woolwich Arsenal, people I assume that worked at the Woolwich Arsenal probably. Yeah. And this is how football teams started 100 years ago. Now 150 years later, it started from people that well, the reason it's called hashtag actually is it was a 7-a-side team out of people that worked at Copper 90 originally. We didn't film it.
Okay.
And I came up with the name hashtag because we all worked on social media.
Yeah, of course.
That was hashtag FC.
Of course, yeah.
And then we added the United. So the name was logical.
Yeah.
But then also, because it annoys so many people, creates so much conversation, is why it's, in my opinion, such a good name.
Oh, 100%.
If you know anything about hashtag, and you were driving in the car and listening to the radio and someone says, oh, don't forget to use hashtag capital FM.
Yeah.
You just hear the word hashtag, it makes you think about the football team.
Yeah, 100%.
If you have a strong opinion about our club because of our name, it means you know about our club.
Yep.
If my team was called Essex United, do you think people in Colombia would be buying a football shirt?
No.
For us? Do you think people would be coming to watch our games? It's not something they can get behind.
Of course.
It's the opposite of what football is, which is it's supposed to come from a place and get bigger, and so Arsenal can have fans abroad. We're for everyone already. And then we'll get a place, which we do have now.
Yeah.
So it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And a football chairman's job is not to make every football fan support your team. It's never been that any
good to
football
have
chairman's job.
People hate your team, rivalries and stuff like that. You want that discussion.
If your job as a football chairman was to make everyone love you, no one's ever achieved that job. Ever.
Oh, impossible.
Fact,
it's impossible.
You want actually people
There's a
to
reason.
like
Yeah,
you.
Exactly. I support Arsenal, you support West Ham.
So the name does that like that. It makes those people not like
you
straight away. That's achieved. And I can't remember what your original question was.
Neither can I. But it was good. But then you went from obviously hashtag just being just your friends. Then you started bringing some YouTubers in.
Theo was our first signing.
Manny played a little bit, didn't he?
Manny played a couple games, to be fair. Yeah, he never sort of stayed with us, so we didn't count as a signing. But Manny was the first person I'd met professionally to come in.
Yeah. Theo was like your first
Theo was like, we announced it as a
who was a
signing.
player. Yeah.
Came in. He was off the back of the Wembley Cup. He'd done so well.
Of course.
And then Charlie
Morley came along, and then he started obviously like transitioning to like, okay, these got like some good players, YouTube players. And then I grew up watching stuff like Football's Next Star, Football Icon, and then you announced you're going to do trials, hashtag Academy. I still think till today that's the best thing you've done. I went to the first trials.
I remember.
I was there. Did you know who I was back then?
Yes, I knew who you were. But I think I knew your channel anyway.
Yeah.
But then obviously on your application,
of course,
you pointed out. And
I must put it in. Yeah.
So back then, that was the biggest one we've ever done because the barrier to entry for that one was the smallest. We weren't playing in a league.
Yeah.
So like, even if you'd won that series, you would have improved our team.
Yeah.
Because our team was not good.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying you're a good player, but like obviously Scott Pollock, we got someone better than we thought we'd get.
Even perfect. Yeah.
So the barrier to entry is very low.
Yeah.
Didn't really matter where you lived because we played games once a month and we used to play abroad and all stuff. So you'd be travelling involved, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
So you could basically apply even if you're the worst footballer in the world. Some people were.
Yeah.
We had 20,000 applicants for that first series, right? This is mental. Yeah, so I've got to go through that.
Did you actually have to go through?
Oh, so what I used to do...
Did you have a system? You must have a system.
Yeah, I used to just have keywords I'd search for. So I'd search for the word academy, who's played at academy.
Yeah.
I searched for clubs' names.
Yeah.
And then I searched YouTuber.
Yeah.
And YouTube.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And YouTubers. That's how I found, that's why you got invited to trial.
Amazing.
Because I searched the word.
Yeah, because I think it was Jamel was there.
Jamel came,
trial.
Exactly. I didn't know Jamel. I didn't know of Jamel until that.
Okay,
I found out about him through the series, and he obviously was a very good footballer as well.
Yeah, he was good.
So there's probably some really unbelievable footballers. I mean, Yoni Vukac, who just came second in the most recent series.
I was a big fan of him.
He applied for every series. He never got invited to a trial for the first two.
That's mad.
Even though
it's under the radar in your
I just didn't find
emails. You just didn't see it.
I'd love to have gone for every one.
Of course, no, it's not realistic, is it?
We've done pretty well out of people we have found.
100%.
So it works, but I remember that trial you came down to.
I remember, and it's just I don't know that day just didn't go well for me. I think we did the 7. I remember very clearly. We did 7-a-side games, and I remember thinking I was doing really well there. And then when we went to the 11-a-side games, it was actually me and Scott Pollock were in the same team.
Was it?
Yeah, me and Scott Pollock, and he obviously stood out more than I did because my playing style is just like I just keep the ball ticking. I don't do anything flashy. I don't do anything, and maybe for trials it just doesn't get spotted. Yeah. But I had Scott Pollock next to me, so I'm not complaining because I was the eventual winner and deserved it. But I remember I just didn't get past the first stage.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the deliberation process from that episode, but obviously everyone was talked about.
Yeah,
and I think my view on it was, I think Jamel was at that trial as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So my view on it was I was quite up for YouTubers being part of the series. The Jamel thing ended up being a little bit of a thorn in our side because he ended up having a chance of winning it.
Yeah, because
we felt it was unfair if we put him in the final in the public vote because he has a massive
he would have won.
It's basically like Nico in Big Brother Clubs. We just
did. Oh yeah,
and
you hated that.
Didn't win that. So we ended up like basically not kicking Jamel out, but not putting him through, and then we signed him anyway.
Yeah.
So when it would come into talking, because there's quite a few YouTubers applied that year, we just thought actually we were probably harsher on the YouTubers. If that makes sense. We probably thought we're only going to put someone through if they're going to win it, or have a chance of winning it. Yeah. I think that's probably one of the reasons you didn't get put through. To be honest. Again, you're up against Scott Pollock. I think Jack Durkin might have been on that trial as well.
Yeah, he was there,
and he was.
Marcus Stamp was there. Like it was tough. Yeah, it was good players, and obviously back then I was devastated. Obviously, I was a fan. I really wanted to do it, but like who knows what would happen if I did, or maybe I wouldn't be here now. Maybe I'll just be playing for hashtag, and I wouldn't even be doing YouTube anymore. Exactly. I don't know.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so thank you for rejecting me. I appreciate that. But then so then you went into obviously over the years you went into non-league.
Yeah.
What was that step up like? Because I can imagine like. You must have got a lot of hate for doing that as well. A lot, or like from other clubs not like that. The fact that you guys are now taking all the attention.
The first thing I did, and we were 2 and a bit years in, and we needed to change it because most of us were the wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
A lot of our better players were 35. Like Dan Brown had 3 kids, lived 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Can't keep playing random friendlies. People might watch them, but I needed us to be working towards something. I knew Hashtag United wasn't just a series that I would do until it stopped working. It was my potential job after I stopped making videos. That's always been the plan. So when the minute Seb joined me, my brother, started helping me on this YouTube stuff, we said we need to make something that can employ us if and when YouTube isn't an option anymore. And that what hashtag is. So it wasn't an option that we just keep getting games at stadiums until people stop watching. It was like, no, we need to be going on. I did some research. I looked at clubs like AFC Wimbledon and FC United of Manchester who had they were like Phoenix clubs out of other teams, and what level did they enter the non-league pyramid at? And they both entered that level called Step 5, so the 5th division underneath professional football, the 9th tier of England. Yeah. And I thought, okay, well, if they can do it, how do they do that? Why do they not have to start off in like 15th level Saturday football? How come they got to go in there? And it came down to the fact that they had too many fans, because underneath Step 6. It's park football. It's just a rope around a pitch. And if you've got 200-300 people turning up, that's not sustainable. Of course. Can't do that. People can run on the pitch, etc. They won't let you play that level. So I thought, well, we've just played a game at Wembley in front of 34,000 people. Like, okay, we're not going to get that every week. Of course, But we have played every game we'd ever played in front of a crowd had at least 500 people every time. So I'm very sure the same logic applies to us. So I just asked the question, and I just asked my local league, which is a league called the Essex Senior League, which we ended up starting off a level below that. What's the process? And it turned out that area of the country, Essex, was reforming. So there was a new Step 6 level being created. Oh, wow. So it meant not only could we come into that level, we weren't taking anyone's spot. Oh, amazing. It was the dream. Yeah, perfect. Because the only other option for us would have been to take over an existing club, rebrand it, annoy all their fans. Never wanted to do that. The idea of coming in as our actual own team, because we, as a size of our club, if you're talking about fan base, we're still 3 or 4 divisions below where we should be. Yeah, of course, 100%. Even until now, of course. High in professional football based on followers. Of course. But we've got to do the due diligence, and I thought, you know what? Even if we have to start a bit lower than I'd like, if we get to do it as our own club, we didn't have to take anyone over. We're literally the team that started on YouTube. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So we did the research. Yep, we got invited to that Step 6 league. We got a bit of hate on day 1 because they put us in the wrong league. Oh. The FA didn't even tell us we were in until the day they announced it to the world, and they put us in the league in like the Midlands. What? So not only was that going to be like a 2-hour drive from the game, it was taking someone's spot, which I'd always been told would not be a thing with us. So we appealed, got put in the right league. Got moved, But we got hate. We got hate from day 1. Yeah, of course. And what? Obviously, then you had to. Now you're playing like non-league football. You've got to bring in better players. Yes. Were you worried like you're going to bring in now some? Obviously, players that your audience won't even know, just random names are coming into your team because because they've grown to love your Rich Becks and your Faisal Mandrews and your Ryan Adams and your Dan Browns and all those kind of players. But now you have to actually bring players who are a lot younger, who are going to play semi-professional football. What was that like? Because you're like, end of the day, the fans are here for this, but you're bringing in a lot of different players that they don't know who they are. What the fans didn't maybe realise, or some of the fans didn't realise at first that I knew, is that what we were doing wasn't sustainable. Yeah. Like, you might like watching Dan Brown. Yeah. He's basically packing it in. Yeah. Like, he can't keep doing the travel he does, and he's got 3 kids. So it wasn't a case of, like, us turning our back on them. It was us, we made that decision to survive as a club, or else we'd just stopped. No one was kicked out. Every single player that played with us was given the opportunity to take that step on. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we brought in a manager, which was the biggest thing. I stopped being the manager of the team. And, to be fair to Devs, the first 4 games of the season, in our first non-league season, which we didn't win any of the first 4, he was playing Rich Beck and Sam Adams. He was playing Dan Brown. He was getting those guys. And those guys sort of stepped away by their own admission because they thought maybe we're not up to it, or they don't want to see hashtag had never really been on a losing run and suddenly we're losing games.
Of course.
So then Dev's also brought in 3 or 4 of his own boys that have now become the equivalent of originals because they've been with us.
Of course,
non-league.
Who did he bring with him?
Harry Honesty,
very good player.
Ricky Evans and Neil Richmond, who both moved on since. Harry's still going, but Harry could become our most appearances for hashtag ever, overtaking Ryan Adams this season.
That's mad.
You know, so he'll be the OG then, wouldn't he? So it was still such a young club. So we knew we'd have to bring new people in, and non-league there's a lot of turnover of players. But I think people just didn't understand how unsustainable the squad we had was in terms of where everyone lived. Yeah, Scott Pollock lives in Northampton. He was never going to come and play non-league.
And that's something I want to talk about as well. Scott Pollock, the winner of the first ever hashtag academy, he's a professional football player.
He is. He played for Northampton in the League Cup and won the other night.
That's mental. He's played against Wayne Rooney.
Yes, he has. What a man. Love him.
Amazing.
What a find.
And
wasn't even attached to a club when he came to that academy series.
He was young. He was like 16, right?
16. He played for Leicester's academy as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
He was like 13. But he was out of football. He basically fell out of love with football.
Yeah.
His dad had died, sadly.
So,
and he sort of watched our videos and thought, oh, it's quite fun.
Yeah.
He just found an absolute gem. You know, whatever Scott's done, he's earned on his own back.
100%.
I'm very proud of the role we played in giving him a platform. We got him a trial at Crystal Palace off the back of the Wembley Cup.
That's what I was going to say. Wembley Cup, I heard was it Mark Bright?
Mark Bright
spotted him.
Commentated most of the Wembley Cups. He rang me before the third Wembley Cup.
Yeah.
And he said, research about my players.
Of course, yeah.
I said, hey, Phil Mine, you're Dan Brown. I said, Scott Pollock, I'll tell you right now, because I knew Mark was involved in Palace. I said, you're going to want to trial Scott Pollock in Palace. Mark was like, all right, mate, I'm pretty sure we're all right for YouTube. So I was like, no, he's not a YouTuber. He's sick, trust me. Mark's like, okay, mate.
Yeah.
Rings me up after the Wembley Cup. Can we get his number? What's amazing about this, we have got footage of it. We never put it out of respect to Palace, but he went on a trial there. We actually sent Lewis with him on a week's trial there.
Yeah, amazing.
We filmed, and he played a game with the under-18s when he was 16.
Yeah.
He got 3 assists and a goal, and they released him.
Bloody hell.
Because they said he wasn't big enough.
Wow. That's mad.
I was like, I've seen the goal.
Of course. So you watched the videos,
Kevin De Bruyne pass.
Yeah.
I know there's other people in football who do it longer than me. I don't care. I'm giving that kid another week.
Oh, of course.
It was that second game he was supposed to play. They didn't even let him play the second game.
That's mad.
After that,
and
to be fair, there's a guy called Tekka's Guru or Isa who used to play for us, who's got a background in that sort of thing. And he said to me he will not get a deal at Palace.
Yeah.
Before Scott went. He went, he's not big enough. They like big boys.
They want big players, yeah.
Maybe they've changed that now. This is a while ago, but I think they had a stinker personally.
Wow.
And Northampton picked him up a week later.
Yeah, and that's where he's from as well, his hometown club. And he's probably going to have a good career. I'm watching closely with Scott Pollock, so that's going to be sick. So so obviously hashtag, I remember when you guys had that FA Cup run.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Last year. We got a new one starts next week.
Yeah.
Filming this next Saturday. It was amazing, mate. It was amazing because it came in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So it was lucky that we got to do it at all. You know, we were allowed fans. It was capped at 300 a game. I think we'd have probably had closer to 3,000.
Oh yeah, it's FA Cup. Everyone would have been there. Yeah.
COVID, but it was just amazing because I think they've gone back to replays now. But for that year, if it was a level, we went straight to penalties.
Yeah.
We had 3 penalty shootouts in a row.
Yeah. I remember you won.
We won the first two.
You won the first two. Yeah.
One. The first one we had was the second longest penalty shootout in the history of the FA Cup.
Mad.
150 years going.
How many penalties did it go on for? Do you remember?
The score was 13-12.
13-12 in the
15 or 16 each or something. It was so crazy. Everyone took one twice at least.
Yeah.
Not just twice. Sorry, some boys took one twice.
Yeah.
It was amazing because the first game we had, weirdly, was at the ground we played all the original games at New River.
New River. Yeah.
But we got drawn there, which you couldn't make up. And then we were 1-0 down against a team in the step below us, and we were like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
But we managed to put it around and win.
Yeah.
And then and then every team we played, the 2 penalties we won were against the team in the league above, the league we're now in now.
Yeah.
And then we played a team 3 leagues above us.
Yeah.
National League South, Conference South.
That's literally.
And we went
2 divisions.
Love Island's Toby and Wembley. We went 1-0 up in the 90th minute. And then they scored an equaliser from kickoff. Took it to penalties, we lost.
That's a heartbreak. That is.
What could have been.
That is what could have been.
Still amazing though.
And it's on TV as well, these games.
BBC. Took the game we won before that, Hometown, bit was on BBC.
Yep.
And then, we streamed the next one. I mean, what's crazy is sometimes we go and play these teams, and I look at the sort of Wikipedia page of these teams, and often there's a team from 1870 that's formed. It's mental, right?
Yeah.
You're like, wow, we're 5 years old. We're playing a team that's 150 years old.
Yeah.
What's mental is a lot of these teams have never got to the round that we got to.
Yeah.
150 years. Because it's hard.
It's
the level we're at.
Of course.
To win 4 games.
Of
Maybe
course.
3 games we won. 3 games.
Yeah.
It's hard, and these guys have played in the FA Cup 100 times and never done it. We've played it once. Like the odds are we won't beat that this year. Even though our team's better, it's just
hard. It's just one of them like dream runs, and that's what the FA Cup's about. And Jesse Waller-Larson got voted, didn't he, in the team? Him and Yuri Tillemans. Yeah, Yuri Tillemans, and then Jesse Waller-Larson from hashtag. I voted for him as well, which is sick.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously we're helped by the fact that it was a Twitter vote.
Yeah, but that shows how big hashtag is compared to other teams. I think in following wise, you guys are right up there and like probably the top 20 most followed clubs.
Yeah, well, they used to do. Someone, I can't remember who used to release a league table of YouTube views per month. And we're always in the Europa League spots in the country. Yeah,
like insane.
6th, 7th for YouTube views.
Exactly. It's like what Man City up there, but you're right in there.
Yeah,
which is mental. And I was going to talk about this next because obviously you just mentioned his name, but Toby Aromalaran, our teammate. When we played together, we played a 7-side tournament.
What a great goal in that game.
It's an unbelievable goal, by the way. I'll put it in now. But he's now on Love Island. I've not really been watching this season, but people are talking about him like he could be the greatest Love Island contestant of all time. Yes. And my friends are here, they watch the show, and they're saying he's the greatest.
Boys like him.
Yeah. Well, like that's mad. Like, how long ago did you know he was going on Love Island?
You're not supposed to tell anyone, but you are allowed to tell like employers or whatnot. Yeah. And he did so. Myself and the manager knew. Yeah. A couple of weeks before, we actually recorded a video chatting to him like this. Yeah. We went in. It's on. We put it on members only on our channel. But even when you get told you're going in, you don't know when you're going in. So he could have been one of the guys coming in
later on. Yeah.
All this stuff, but he told us, and it was like sort of good and bad news, I'd say, because I'm happy for him because I know what that show can do for people's careers. But I just thought if you have any sort of success in there, I doubt we're going to get you to play for us again. Even though he's made it very clear from before, he's like, I really want to play. And I said, I appreciate that. The door's never closed. Yeah. It's just if he gets all these opportunities on weekends, when even in the week, you've got to be training.
That's the thing.
They're going to give him a free ride to not train.
Yeah.
So it's a big ask. I'd love to have him back because he's a lovely boy. And this is the thing I've always said, like, I don't watch Love Island. I have watched it this year because Toby's on it.
Because obviously, yeah.
And if you were to ask me before this one, would I have a default opinion of someone that goes on Love Island? I probably would.
Yeah.
But I can be wrong because people probably have that opinion, or some people might think Toby, some of the girls didn't like him at first because he was a bit sort of moving from girl to girl. Yeah. But I know Toby, he's a lovely boy. Yeah. And all he was doing is playing the game in a very, very sort of openly honest way, like not trying to pretend he was there for love. Because let's be honest, none of them are there for love. Like, why would you go on a TV show to find love? It doesn't make any sense. So you just can't ever admit that.
Of course,
and even if you watch him in his like interview before he goes in, he says, "I've never had a girlfriend. I don't really want one." Everyone's like, "Why is he going on the show?" No, he's going on for the same reasons they all. Like, he's just saying why.
Yeah, of course,
without saying it. Yeah, but like you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I mean, Josh Denzel, you might have met before. I knew him before Love Island because he's a presenter, and he's a good lad. And if I'd watched him on that show, I probably wouldn't have liked him because I just have an opinion of people that go on that show. So it's good for that. You can be wrong about people.
Yeah. And how do you obviously said you're watching this season? How do you think he's doing?
Like the first few weeks, me and Lou, who works at hashtag, is running Toby's socials at the moment. We were going like, he's screwed. He's going to go out in a week. Like, hate him. It's not in the house.
Yeah, of course.
But, on TV. He's getting a lot of abuse on social media. Like, some quite horrible stuff. We're like, he's done. Yeah. Maybe we'll get back for pre-season. And then basically through his sort of like working through every single girl in the place, people started to see he's actually just silly.
Yeah, of course.
And he's actually quite funny as well. And also, if you took him out of the show this year, it would have been very boring. Yeah. Like he's the main event, basically.
That's mad.
And I think Love Island producers have realised that. We all know it's semi-fabricated, right? Of course, like the show. I think they've sort of put him in scenarios now, which a couple of times he was sort of protected from the public vote. I think. Yeah. And but now I think the public have come round. Yeah. So I think he's got a chance.
The public have come round. Like
I thought we had no chance after week one. Now I think maybe he's favourite to win.
That's mad. And even if he isn't, he's won with the public because, like I said, people are saying he could be the greatest contestant of all time.
The thing is, anyone that watches hashtag knows. Yeah. Even in COVID, when our season was finished, we were making extra content. Like he was one of the boys we could always rely on. So we did like Among Us. Yeah. Did real life Among Us. Yeah. He was there for that. Like he's always been up for like
a character.
Exactly. A bit of fun and just very, very light-hearted. So he's a great person to have on the show. I think.
Yeah, and I hope him all the best, especially when he comes back. I know it's gonna be, like I said, hard, like you said, hard to come back straight into hashtag because he's probably gonna get a lot of like brands and everything hitting him up and all that stuff. But he is a very good football player.
He's really good footballer.
Yeah,
really good footballer.
so
He'd probably
like,
play higher if he's a bit injury prone sometimes, but scored some really good goals for us.
How did he come to hashtag?
He used to play at the same level for our assistant manager in a club called Tilbury, and then he went to Loughborough Uni. So he did Loughborough Uni for 3 years, and then when he came out, he approached Joe and asked to come and play for us.
Okay, yeah,
good player.
Very good
Great
player.
celebration because it's Aroma Larens.
That's what I'm saying. The brand is just there.
He hashtagged it in the Villa, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Did he?
Very quickly.
Yeah, and it made the cut.
There's like an unseen bit on the weekend, and he does a dance, and he goes,
Smart.
We don't really hashtag it anymore because people think it's cringe, but we still like it.
Yeah, of course. And he mentioned hashtag at the show at the start. Remember, I was like, I play football, I play for YouTube team.
Who play for? They're like, who you play for? Hashtag
YouTube team. Yeah.
Ian Sterling, who does the voiceover, is a good friend of mine. So I was said to him when Toby went in, I was like, please, go easy on him. Like,
of course.
Yeah, no, he's a good lad.
Yeah, he is. And like I said, he did play alongside both of us in that hashtag tournament. And we played together then, and we made the final for that tournament. Yeah. We didn't win.
Scored quite a few goals yourself, didn't you?
I scored 2 in that final.
Nice goal.
Yeah, I scored 2, thank you. And then we played at Clash of Creators.
We did.
And we won.
We did.
But you got sent off.
I did.
By a hashtag super fan, Alfie.
Yes.
What happened there?
Oh, do you know what? It's one of them where, I don't know if you saw Jack Mate's video about it. He did.
Yeah, I did.
Like, it's very hard for me to talk about it without making my opinion on it clear. And I don't want to throw Alfie under the bus because he's a good lad. He's a very nice boy.
I love him. Because even in the hashtag tournament, he was referee. And he got like...
He tends to follow him. But Alfie's a very, very nice lad. He's a very important part of what we do off the pitch. So he actually does the public announcing at our games, comes home and away, travels many hours for games. So we love Alfie.
Amazing, yeah.
We had a difference of opinion on the day, shall we say. And, I have some regrets in maybe... If I hadn't have said anything to him, I wouldn't have got sent off ultimately. I don't think it was worthy of a red, but it was a red. I don't care because we won. Yeah. If we'd lost, I would have felt bad about it. I would have been annoyed, but I'd also felt guilty because if I'm on the pitch, we got a better chance.
Yeah, 100%.
But we won. You dropped into centre back, an absolute dream. I was doing the Ronaldo in the Euros final.
Yeah, from the side. Yeah,
David James isn't animated enough. I need to get on there.
Yeah, imagine from the side. No, we had a pretty strong team. I think.
Yeah, you scored another goal with 10 men. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we scored another goal with 10 men.
And I think people wrote us off when they saw our team before.
Yeah,
but I looked at our team and I went, me, Casey, Sharky. That is a triangle in the middle that should be safe.
And then we had London Movements and Exetinio. I don't know. We had a good team.
Yeah,
If you compare it to like all the other teams. Our defensive partner, centre-back partnership was you and Casey Barker. Everyone else had like maybe one person that was a weak link. We had like when I saw that,
rebel.
It was beautiful.
And then the big thing for us was Nash coming in goal. You know,
that was massive.
Because no one, all due respect to anyone there, but there was no great keepers.
Yeah. It was Robbie Knox, Kieran Carlin, and Pieface. There's
no one that, shall we say, plays Sunday League goalkeeping every week. I think Kieran does play his five side. Apparently, he's a really good five-side keeper. But 11 side, I think, was a step up. Yeah. And Nash isn't a keeper.
He's not a keeper.
But he was the best keeper there by miles.
We didn't see the goal.
Yeah, he was coming and claiming things. He just got a bit about him as a man. Of course, you get away with it if you have. Yeah. And we were supposed to have Callum's corner. I've got no idea. Callum could be a good goalkeeper. But he's
pulled
tall,
out. I think so. Maybe.
But Nash saved it for us.
Massively.
Literally.
Yeah, and it was a good event. Did you enjoy the event?
It was a great event. Yeah. It was a really good event. The boys did fantastic. Like Callum Glanville and Tom Sharman, but Callum particularly, someone I know really well because he's also part of the hashtag Superfans. Yeah. And he had a rough year. His father passed away last year, and he's put all this together. And essentially, obviously I've done the Wembley Cup. I know how much hard work that is. Yeah. To get all those people there, I think they did fantastic. I hope they keep doing it. I'll certainly. Of course. Don't know if I'm banned or not.
You might have suspension. Might have 1-3 match ban.
Hopefully, they turn to a tribunal. But hopefully, I can come back. We can defend our title.
Hopefully, and hopefully we can play again soon together.
Well, I said to you, I said get us on the same team.
We need to,
and I think it worked.
We need to keep being on the same team. Next sort of football tournament or anything.
I was actually Devo at first because I hoped me and you were going to be centre mid together.
Yeah.
Then I think in hindsight, me at centre back was the right decision.
Yeah, no, it made sense.
I was probably like the second oldest person playing the whole tournament.
No, it made sense.
I just thought I can just not have to run as much.
Yeah, and you assisted Morgs' goal in the final, didn't you?
I should have been my goal.
Yeah.
Robbed it off
he didn't even need to touch it. It would probably
no one's giving me credit for the perfectly weighted ball over Ellis Platton's head.
Exactly.
But no, it was good fun, mate. It was a good bunch of lads, and we didn't go there with expectations, did we? If we hadn't won, we'd all been sweet. Of course. Good fun, but it's great. It's great to go and get a trophy.
That was a great time. And lastly, you're a dad now.
I'm a father. Yes.
You're a father.
Yes.
What's that been like for you?
Pretty life changing generally because your whole sort of value system does change. Like, why would you do? When you're choosing whether you do something or not, you know, you're thinking about your son as well as yourself.
Yeah. Even when I was getting on here, you said I might have to go back and like help out with the kids. So I don't know if I can definitely come here.
So everything's a tactical battle when you choose your time away from home. You know, so like I already play football 3 times a week, and that's you know, that gets noted. So if you do something else, but Alex is putting most of the weight. I have to be honest. She's been unbelievable, and it's very, very lucky to have her because she is a great mum, and it's, you know, she's spending a lot more time on it than I am. I'm still working a lot, but it's been a joy. I've got a lot of friends who've got kids around the same age or maybe a few years older, and we've been really lucky because he's not had any issues. Last night he didn't sleep particularly well, but I know mates who've been saying that their kids haven't been sleeping well for 6 months, and they look knackered every time you see them. And I think I've managed to dodge that so far. But it's really cool, mate. It is really cool. You sort of just like almost going anywhere. You take like 8 suitcases. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Alex is just buying new stuff every week. So we need this. I'm like, I don't need this stuff. I think you'll survive. But you have to buy whatever the Instagrammers tell you to buy, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Will we be seeing like an Mbappe project?
Project Mbappe. I do want him to be good at football. Yeah. I mean, I've seen, is it Chunks' nephew? That's funny, man. I would like him to play football, but I'd rather him do what he wants to do. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I came into football late.
Project Spencer FC, maybe a YouTuber.
It could be projects like ballerina. That's what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I came into football late because my dad didn't push me into it. Yeah. He probably did push my older brother a bit more. Yeah. And my older brother is better at football than me as a result because he started playing at about 3. Yeah. But he never fell out of love with football, but he never had anywhere near the passion for football that I did because I chose it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And so even though I do believe in the whole 10,000 hours thing and like if you're going to be a pro anything, you need to start early, I'm not going to push that on him. He's going to be so much around football anyway. He might hate it, to be honest.
Yeah, true.
But I'd almost think more so I'd like him to be my little sort of sidekick that I can pass whatever hashtag becomes onto.
Give the torch onto him,
like... future owner. Learn to run it, but
when
also
in the Premier League,
playing it, and then do you know what I mean?
But he could be the owner of hashtag winning the Premier League.
He could play in the Premier League and then own it after, or own it at the same time.
Imagine.
When I was a kid, there was a guy, Colonel Gaddafi from Libya. He's a dictator from Libya, but he had a son. Gaddafi. He owned Perugia Football Club, and he made them play his son.
Oh, so he had to play. Was he any good, his son?
Not Serie A level. Yeah. I think he played in Serie A right wing for Perugia.
Crazy.
I think it's Perugia, and I think Jay Bofflewood played in the team at the same time. So he's like some good players around him. But like, I never want to be that guy.
You've
got to play my son.
You have to play him. Yeah,
he's got to be good.
Of course,
we've got enough teams. You know.
Yeah.
I still play in the Sunday teams.
Yeah. I wish I could play for you.
I wish we lived close to each other.
Yeah, you guys are so far out.
Unbelievable for our Sunday team.
Yeah, you guys are so far out.
We have a lot of fun.
Oh man.
We dropped down because we've got a proper reserve team for the senior team now. Yeah. All the better players have gone, so it's like me and all the old boys.
It's fun, yeah.
We're just playing like really poor division. We actually score goals and have fun. Roll around in centre mid. It's great.
Yeah.
My plan is to do that for a good. I reckon I've got another decade in me.
Yeah,
it's my early 40s.
There you go.
And then I'll probably move into management.
Yeah, you've got this is a random fact that I remember this from watching you. Born exact same day as Mesut Ozil, right?
Exact same age.
That's why you play a bit like him. I thought so.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
But that was the same joke I make on Twitter every
year. Yeah. I remember.
What are the chances one of the world's best attacking midfielders is born on the same day as Mesut Ozil? Yeah. Andy Cole is also born on the same day, but obviously different age.
Andy Cole, yes.
Good. A few footballers on that day, but
legend. Yeah.
Amazing.
And future plans. What are your future plans? Because, like I said, you got the Spencer FC channel, but actually not really consistent on that.
Not at all.
All your focus is on hashtags. So is that going to just slowly fade away, or are you going to just try and get... What is your plans?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, really, I don't really make videos on that channel now unless I really feel the need to, if it's something maybe like I feel strongly about, or it's like a branded thing. You know, I spent a lot of time and effort to get the channel to sort of around 2 million subscribers, and obviously you still get opportunities as a result of that. I'm not going to not take them. Of course. But I have so much, there's no way I could ever be consistent on it again.
Yeah.
Because I have so much other stuff that is more important to me, basically. Like, I love the guys that subscribe to that channel for sure, and I wouldn't be anywhere without them. but it's not a prison sentence.
Yeah,
you do it for as long as you want to do it. And I would rather run a football team than make videos on YouTube at this point in time.
Yep.
And the football team I do run is very involved in YouTube.
Yeah.
Make a lot of videos, of which I'm in. So I'm still a very active YouTube creator. It's just not necessarily on that channel anymore.
Yeah.
That it is what it is. I've got other ideas, little projects I might do individually that can always go on that channel. I've done a few sort of projects over the years and little charity projects and things that I could bring back. Yeah. But hashtags are soul encompassing, especially now we've obviously got the esports side. We've got
that as well.
Multiple teams on the men's side, women's side who are best in Essex. They're in the 4th tier of women's football.
Amazing, yeah.
We've got a youth team, got 500 players at youth level. Amazing. Like, it's a lot to do.
It is
just
a lot.
To keep that going.
Yeah.
So, we're in a higher league now, more travelling, so we've got further distances for games and stuff. There's just only so many hours in a day.
Of course.
So I wouldn't say that there's any massive plans to start making loads of videos on Spencer FC anytime soon.
Yeah.
But Chunks and I were having a good chat outside before we started this, and I was saying to him, from my personal perspective, I look at you guys in this house, and it reminds me a lot of the sort of vibe I picked up when I used to go to the Sidemen house back in the day. And you guys are very hard working, and you're doing exactly what you should be doing, in my opinion, and capitalising on these opportunities. But Chunks especially, when I watch him on Instagram and I see him in the taxi every day.
Every day, yeah.
And like, whilst, he's slightly different path and he's absolutely, smashing it.
Yeah.
I had my equivalent time, I would say, which was more, I just decided I was going to make a video every day.
Yeah.
And there were labour-intensive videos, and I was doing the Wembley Cup and things alongside them, and I was doing other things. And Alex and I said, we called it our like smashing it phase, and we didn't know how long it would last. It lasted about 2 years, I'd say, where we just made videos every day, and we worked. I lost friendships over it because I stopped going to events. I'm going to do this, got to do that, got to do that. People don't realise things you have to put ahead of. You have to put YouTube ahead of. To do that. Of course. And it worked in the sense that we bought a house and we had some financial stability, and the channel's got bigger numbers. But you have to, only after you've done it can you look back on it and say, okay, well, what actually happened to me during that period of time? And I actually became a bit of a zombie.
Yes,
Like, I was just very overworked, very overtired, probably very, very unenjoyable to be around socially. Because all I was thinking about was, I hope my video's uploaded properly, I was going to write, or I'll get home and make this next one. And just wouldn't allow myself to enjoy that time. So I'm way past that mentality now. That's something I did. I'm very proud I did it, but I'm never going to be that guy again, I don't think.
Yeah, of course. And just out there, just now, Seeking the Chunks, you mentioned a Kanye West tweet.
Yes.
Want to bring it up again?
Yeah, it's something I always remembered. He said, I want to focus more on dreams and less on opportunities. So if you're fortunate enough to be in the sort of positions we are where these opportunities come up, a lot of them are really good, and everything in your body is telling you to say yes to them. Yeah. Because you know how lucky we are. Could be going to do a shoot with a footballer. Could be some paid brand deal, which is good money, whatever it is. And everyone's different. Everyone has a different value system. I've never valued money in that way. I've always valued time. That's been my one big decision I did make as a kid. And I said, right, I remember the exact moment I did it. I was in an English exam. I was like 16 years old. Finished the exam early, so I put my head on my thing. It had a little sort of drip. I went out like the room mentally, and I've always been quite neurotic. Like, I think a lot about stuff. And I said to myself, for whatever reason, I thought, time is the most important thing. Like, most of the guys in this room, they're all going to go and do a normal job, and they're going to spend however many hours a week doing that, a third, maybe more of their life doing that job, and they're going to just pray that they get enough money from that job, they can then go and do happy stuff that makes them happy, they can look forward to on the weekends. I was like, not for me. From that decision, I said, I'm never going to do that. I'd rather earn no money and have no holidays, but have a job that I like, because I'll spend more time at the job. Of
course,
That was a decision I made. And what that actually led to was not me figuring out what I wanted to do. It actually led me to having a mindset where I quit jobs like that.
I don't like, you didn't even like, so barely having money. Barely having money.
It's a company job. I was getting paid good money.
Companies,
All my mates were like, you got the coolest job ever. I remember sitting, I was a social media role. It's a good job if you want to do that, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something more creative. And I sat down with like 10 people, my brother, my dad, my other brother, my girlfriend, my girlfriend's brother, my mates. Everyone said, Spencer, you're having a stinker. Do not leave that job. And I was just waiting to find someone to tell me something different. Eventually I chatted to a lad who's a director at the Copper 90 company, he's a film director. And he just had a similar mindset to me. He went, if you don't like it, quit it. And I was like, thank you, good.
Thank you. That's literally confirmation bias. Like, you just wanted someone to confirm.
I knew how I felt.
You knew how I felt. But you wanted someone to say, yes, you're doing the right thing. Yeah, it's an amazing job.
Like, we're all brought up to think that way. We all go through school, and we're all brought up to say, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty confident you probably never had a moment at school where a teacher spent the time talking to you guys about how you can be happy.
Oh yeah, never.
Or talking to you guys about how important it is to be happy.
Yeah,
everything is a conveyor belt to produce people that just pay tax. Like, not to get too deep in it, but that's what school is. It's people that do what they're told and pay tax. Yeah. The reason exams are the way they are is because it's not because exams aren't necessarily the best way to learn.
No.
It's a test of whether you can take knowledge they're telling you and retain it.
Yeah, literally. It is. If you remember what you've been taught.
And how much of what we learn at school is even that used in our life.
I could do a GCSE test now and I'll fail.
Yeah, but like
100%.
You know what I mean?
So
if you ask me what I remember from school, I remember like the different types of rock erosion. Well, I use that all the time.
Yeah, like when you use that in
no one taught me about taxes.
Yeah.
Which I have to do.
Never.
No one taught me about running a business. No one taught me about, these other things you have to do in your life, or mental health, things like that. So, like that was a decision I made, and it's probably, I spent a couple years in that smashing it phase, lost sight of that a little bit. Yeah. Because I was trying to chase this dream. I'm not Chunks. I'm not KSI. I'm not any of these guys that have achieved a certain level. Yeah. But I got enough followers and I got enough notoriety in certain places where I get recognised or whatever. And I got enough money, not crazy money, but enough to. I felt about the feeling I got from it, and I thought, okay, let's times all this by 10. Let's imagine I keep doing this and I get 10 million subscribers, and whatever. How much better would my life be? No. Not that much better. Actually, it would be worse. Because I'd have no privacy. I'd have no. I'd be so overworked. Yep. I've just got time to probably pull myself back from it and be a normal person. Yeah. So I'm going to choose that one. That's why I don't. One of the reasons I actually don't make that many videos. Yeah. I've actually made a couple of videos last year that actually I think would have been really powerful videos that I haven't put up. Oh, okay. I just felt, I actually don't want to be part of that conversation. Yeah. I made a video after the Euros. I was so disappointed with the abuse the free penalty takers got. And also the stuff that happened at the ground. Yeah, I was actually personally hurt by it because, when we've all got more to us than football, right? But football is something that we choose to have a career in, or whatever you want to say, make content around, because it's something we love. But to the outside world, that means that someone never met me. They probably think I'm this football-obsessed guy that thinks football, goes to bed, thinks football. Is your kid going to be Project Mbappe? All these things. Like, I have the same thoughts, but I've got other elements of my personality. But when I know the outside world just sees me as a football guy, and then English football particularly does something so abhorrent and horrible, because it's all well and good to say it's a minority, yet some countries just don't have it. Some countries don't do that. Yeah. Some countries don't ruin their streets and throw bottles around before a football game. There's no need for it. So I felt so associated with that. I just really it made me less enthusiastic. So I made a whole video just saying, like, I don't even know how much more football content I want to make and stuff like that. If this is what football people are. Yeah. And I don't feel that, I went away that feeling after a few days. And I made a video after a few things, I've made sort of things that happened in the football world. Of course. And I just haven't put them up because I thought,
it's all raw. And
all of us to an extent have an ego, right? All of us do. I've probably been an attention seeker a bit as a kid, middle child syndrome, that stuff. And I think I've got a lot of that out of my system. Yeah. So sometimes I might, my main thing on Spencer FC is giving my football opinion now. Sure, it's FIFA back in the day, but I haven't done that for years.
Yeah, I am.
Me making a video about football. Yeah. You do it as well. You've got your Sharkies, does sports, all that stuff. Yeah. And for me, at this point in time, I just sort of have the opinion where I'm like, okay, I think I could make a good video. I think I have got some good points to make. Do I actually care if people hear my opinion anymore? Not really. Yeah. I like running a football team, and I don't care if they can think I'm doing a bad job or a good job. Yeah. It's my job. Of course. And actually, it's my job to the point where, at the moment at least, I own the team, so no one can sack me from it. So as long as I do a good job and we keep making money, I can keep getting paid from it. Exactly. So, to this day, I've actually never earned any money from hashtag. Wow. Because I've always earned money from Spencer FC. There will come a day where I probably do have to start paying myself. Of course. And so, as long as that job's safe, the other stuff, I'm not a slave to public. You don't need
to do unless you really want to do it. So, like, you don't do anything you don't want to do, basically.
We all do stuff for different reasons. Again, I was saying to Chunks outside, some people might, how you were saying at the start, people say you're good at football for YouTube. Yeah. Right? That's because there is this perception of what a YouTuber is. This perception that, like, a YouTuber is an easy job and every kid wants to do it now. So we've all lucked out by being here. And, we're just going to ride this lucky ride to the bank all day. Like, it's just not the case. I'm sure there's people like that. Yeah. But most YouTubers I know have one thing in common. So we all sacrifice something quite substantial to get to where we got to. KSR, those boys didn't go to uni. They quit school. You know, they never got any sort of training in a job. They just went and gambled when there was no money in YouTube. Big risk.
Yeah, massive risk.
You know, I left a job.
Yep.
I left multiple jobs for no money to try and make videos about FIFA. My mates were like, "You're 24 years old, mate." Do you know what I mean? That's what I was at the time. You know, no one thought it was cool. Yeah. And I remember going on stag do's and stuff back then. And all these guys have got jobs in the city or whatever. And they're like, "What do you do on like YouTube?" And I'm like, they're like, "All right, cool, mate. Yeah, no,
exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So, like, it's hard to do that job, but the reason people do it might all be different. You know, some people might want to work in this industry for the rest of their life and be a presenter or be a content creator or whatever. Some people might think it's a get-rich-quick scheme, which it can be. Yeah. They make a load of money, they pull themselves out, they buy some property, whatever. Yeah. That's cool too. But the thing that is the underlying thing above all stuff is you've got to do what makes you happy. And if something's not making you happy anymore, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you've got. Yeah. If you're not happy,
that's what I'm saying. And that literally is important. That's how the mentality I've taken over the last year or so as well. There's been times where I wasn't happy and I took like 3 months off. And it's like, before I put pressure on myself because I'm like, I've got to keep up. Everyone's doing well. Obviously, all my friends are doing well. So I'm like, I've got to do well. But then, but I take myself out and then it does.
I actually think this environment is really interesting because it's like, you know, you got that frat house vibe, you know, you all guys have some fun, I'm sure. Yeah. But you actually are all a load of businessmen in the same house trying to create things and you all work together and obviously collaborate. But equally, you probably do have that little bit of anxiety where you say, oh, Chunks are doing this today, oh, Sharky's doing this today, oh, I better do this, I better do that. Yeah. But as a result, you'll drive each other on. It's like being at a high-performance school or university and where everyone's getting A's and you're like, if I don't get an A, I'm going to be embarrassed. Yeah. And some people, particularly competitive people, do thrive in that environment. So it's probably some people wouldn't work for it. If someone's not a good worker, and have a good worker mentality, they probably struggle in an environment like this. 100%.
And but the thing we all have in common. Of course, there's times where we might be mad inconsistent, like might not upload for 3 months, 2 months at a time. But the thing is, we all do work hard. So like the reason we're here is because we worked hard. When we were small YouTubers, we're making 3-4 videos a week at times. Yeah. And back then as well, for us as well, and like you said, with the whole sacrifice thing, with me and Chunks especially, it was like we dropped out of uni. Yeah. And then for me, it was like, I'm the oldest of 7 children to a single mother. Right. And she's never seen a child of hers graduate. So my mum really wanted me to go to uni. Like it wasn't a choice not to go to uni. Yeah. And I started YouTube and I prioritized this, and there was no one in my background. We're all Somali, so there's no Somali or no one from a working class background really where I can show my mum and be like, look at them, look at how they're doing. That was our sacrifice. And now there's so many kids that come from our background that can show their parents, us, the beta squad, and be like, look at them and how they're doing. And that's what I'm saying. People look at YouTubers and people look at us and think, these guys are just lucky. It's not. We made a lot of sacrifice. A lot of choices, we worked hard. Exactly. Unpopular choices, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, I remember talking to Theo Baker. He was around my house. We did a video together, and he was having the same discussion about whether he should leave uni. Yeah, yeah. And he personally was studying. I think he was studying sport. Basically, he was going to probably be a PE teacher. That was his plan. And I wouldn't say I advised him to quit uni, but I gave him my opinion on it. And I just said, and Theo was doing well. You know, he's continued to do well. He was still doing YouTube at uni. I remember. Yeah, and I just said to him, look. If you're trying to be a lawyer, if you're trying to be a doctor, something you have to do this certain amount of years and get your qualification, then sure. And it's no disrespect to PE teachers. I've got friends that PE teachers. I'm just saying that particular vocation you can come back to. Yeah. You could try YouTube for a year or two full time. You've never done that before, so you don't know what will happen. My stuff blew up when I went full time. Yeah. Even though I had no money from it, it got me to that point. Of course. I wouldn't ever have got to money if I hadn't done it every day. Of course. So I said to you, maybe you owe it to yourself to give yourself a chance. And this is from someone who did go to uni and finish it. Exactly. But I didn't have any special cheat for life because I finished uni. Yeah, you know what I mean? Nothing. I just had more debt. Yeah. You've got the papers, but... Well, I did it when it was cheaper as well. Oh, yeah, amazing. And Theo did leave, and I think I'm right in saying, because I spoke to him a few times about it, that he thinks it was a great decision. It worked out. But if it hadn't worked out, you just go back to uni and you're a couple of years older than most of the other guys. It's not that life's not a race, do you know what I mean? It's not that big a deal. Yeah. But your story is amazing, mate, because something I talk to my brother about a lot he's the oldest one. Yeah, yeah. I say how much you benefit from not being the oldest, in my opinion. Yeah. Sure, the oldest maybe gets a bit more attention, maybe not in a house of 7. But like when you're first born, you get, I know now, because my child, I'm sure I'll never be able to give that amount of attention to a second child. Yeah. But they have all the pressure. Yeah. Because they've got all these people looking up to them, especially if you've got 6 siblings. 6 younger siblings, yeah.
And you've got no one directly in front of you from your generation to say, well, this is how you do this. Like, even your parents can give you great advice, but how different is the world to when they were kids? It's completely different.
Very different. Like, so you didn't even grow up in this country, my parents. So it's like,
if it hadn't worked out for you, you'd just be, you would feel like you hadn't set that example.
Yeah.
But you've actually set, I would argue, a better example.
Yeah.
Because you've gone off the trodden path and you've gone, everyone knows you can go to uni and get a good job. I'm going to show you what you can do if you don't finish uni.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like, it's not the end of the world if you don't go to uni.
And that's without the whole Somali element as well. You say like, all these guys and kids that watch you that haven't necessarily seen someone of your ethnicity in this environment go and do what you can do. Yeah. That's massive.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they can show their parents and be like, look, and now there is so many other Somali YouTubers, and I get it all the time. Well, Chunks, AJ, all get it all the time, where it's like, oh, you've inspired us, or we started because of you, and I can show my parents you're like what you guys are doing on Beta Squad House and all that stuff, and then the parents are now saying, yeah, go do that because it looks like you can make something out of it.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that's why I'm very grateful of the position we're in, purely because we can inspire like a whole other generation, and kids nowadays, as you know, all want to be YouTubers now. So it's like they look at people like us and think, I can do it.
What do you say to kids when they ask you how they can be a YouTuber?
The thing is, I know how hard it is. It's way harder now as well. It's not. I feel like it's way harder now because everyone's a YouTuber. But like, I never want to be that guy to be like, this is too hard or it's going to be very hard. I don't want to sell them the hard part. I just want to say, I'll just be like, if you really do want to do it, go for it, put everything into it and just enjoy it. And don't go in for the money, because if you're going for the money, you're not going to make money. Exactly. You're not going to make money. I didn't make a penny.
None of us went in for money, did we? Yeah. Because when we all started YouTube, no one was making big money. And that's the thing people don't realise. Yeah. I saw JJ make money to survive. Yeah. And when I quit my job, JJ wasn't what he is now. He was just someone who could survive YouTube. That was enough for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet, as long as I can survive.
As long as I can survive, yeah.
But like I said, I had been doing YouTube for many years before that. But yeah, I think that now you're seeing Logan Paul and what JJ does now, and you're thinking, oh, well, I can do that. You didn't do what they did 10 years ago.
Exactly.
The equivalent would not be a YouTuber. Yeah. The equivalent now would be doing something in a platform you and I haven't heard of yet.
Yeah, literally. It's going to come out nowhere. It's so different. And people only see the success stories on YouTube. You don't like, because it's what comes up on your homepage is all the big channels. You don't see that YouTuber that's been grinding for 2 years and is still on 500 subscribers. That doesn't come up on your homepage. You have to specifically search for that person. So everyone only sees the success story so much that they don't think there's a hard graft. They just think, oh, I can start YouTube and bang. But it's not the reality.
When I get asked it, I always say I have a different school of thought, I guess. But I never, you'll be the same. I never was trying to be a YouTuber. Yeah. I just used YouTube as a platform to try and show what I wanted to do.
Yeah, of course.
And so I always say, well, don't try and be a YouTuber. Yep. Get more specific than that. What do you want to do? Do you want to make videos? Yeah. Do you want to be in videos? Do you want to make music? You can do all these things on YouTube. Yeah. But for example, if you're 10, you don't need a YouTube channel. Yeah, cool. If you want to make videos, get a camera, make videos, and no one else sees. You just get better, and you slowly show them to people, and you learn your craft. If you want to be a presenter, go and do whatever the equivalent to hospital radio is now. As long as there's something online you can do that's sort of voluntary. It's not about how many listeners you have. It's about actually, I was awful at the hospital radio. Like, genuinely, if you hear those shows, you would not believe it was me, how bad I was. Yeah. But no one heard them. That's the best bit.
Exactly, yeah.
So I got all that out of my system. So when people were listening, I sounded like I knew what I was doing.
Exactly.
And these are the skills that these youngsters should be learning. Yeah. And then, maybe after a few years of learning that skill, you can start trying to get views or subscribers or whatever.
And then from the offset, you look like a natural. Exactly. People just turn on a camera, never doing it before because they just see YouTuber, and then they're just like...
And the crucial thing to that is, mate, those videos don't go away anymore. Like, they can stay. Even if you delete them, people can find them. I don't know how it works, but they seem to not go away. So it's like, don't get yourself out there, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever, tweets, just chill. The world isn't desperate to hear your opinion. Yeah. If you've really got one that's great, it might work out a really good strategy for getting it out there that makes you so you can make a real career out of it. But it's not silencing people. It's just saying, like, they don't need to hear your opinion when you're 16 with 100 followers.
Of course.
Make your plan. Get your big
and don't rush.
Thing, and then you can
don't rush. People just like, I think a lot of people just want to get into it when they're in school and they're like, just focus on your school, and then whenever you're ready, go out to people. I think want to rush and get into stuff. Like, I finished college. I was in like first year of uni, and then I started. A lot of people started in school.
Yeah.
So I'd say I wouldn't recommend that.
But then that's the other thing. People think when we're giving this advice, like we're holier than thou. No, it's not that. No. We might have actually made that mistake already, or we might have realised through other people we've met how much beneficial it was for us that we came into this in our 20s or whatever, rather than at 16.
100%.
If I had the exact same trajectory, but 5 years younger, I think I'd be intolerable.
A whole different,
same. A horrible person.
I think I'd have a massive ego because if I banged as a kid, like if I blew up as a kid, like well, I was lucky because I was like 20 when I started, 19, 20, and I'd already gone through college. I'd already like known myself more, so then I could deal with it better. But if I exploded at 15, 16, and I'm like in school, I feel like, and I'm getting pictures taken while I'm in school, I'd feel like, you can't.
Well, like the boys at Clash of Creators, Ollie and Jacob. Yeah. Ollie Ball and Jacob.
Even Morgs hit 1 million subscribers at 6 in the year 11.
I mean,
I don't know how he's dealt.
I don't know how they deal with it. Like, to be fair, Morgs was on our team, obviously.
Yep.
I never met him before until then. I'd spoken to Ollie and Jacob a little bit, but never met them. They're all lovely guys, by the way. I have no negative things to say about them. I just worry about them.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Morgs is a bit older now, isn't he? But Ollie and Jacob are literally 16. I mean, they've just left school.
It's crazy.
And probably a good decision if they capitalise on the opportunities. But it's impossible. It's like One Direction. All these kids. It's a completely different level of fame, but it's the same principle. Like what you want to do at 16, 17, 18, you can be a very different person when you're 21, 22, and that stuff won't necessarily disappear that you make. So for me, I just know if I had that amount of people watching me at that age, I'd be making very different content. I didn't make football videos till I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And that content, by the time people started watching me, I would remove those videos. But if that had been the other way around, and they're the videos with 1 million views. Like, even JJ may have, I don't know, taken down some of those early videos and some of the stuff he's probably not that proud of. That helped him at the time, but he probably wants to distance himself from now. He can delete them, but they might not be gone. So many people saw them at the time, people downloaded them and whatnot. So I did all my weird stuff undercover
before, off of YouTube.
So it's like, that's what I think. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. It's a bit of a think of it maybe a bit differently now because I'm a parent. And I think what's going to happen down the line. But I do worry still these people want to be YouTubers. And I think look at the skill behind it. Get good at that.
Learn that. Learn how to use a camera. Learn how to edit. Learn how to do stuff like that. Rather than just opening a channel and you don't know how to edit, you don't know how to do anything, and then it's like, oh wow, this is harder than I thought. It doesn't take 10 minutes to make a 10-minute video. I actually have to plan it. I actually have to loads of hours of editing. I have to do all that stuff. So learn, like Spencer said, learn all the actual intricacies of the process.
Put your personal self-wealth in the hands of a number you can't control, like views or subscribers or even money, because that's a really good recipe for a breakdown at some point.
Facts,
The same reason that Love Islanders now have to, I know this because of Toby, they have to have therapy when they leave now. It's mandatory because there's been a couple of suicides. That's a great, now I'm not taking away from anyone on Love Island, right? I only know Josh Denzel and Toby. But, and Josh is different, and Toby's different too, but Josh had a career before he went in there as a presenter. So people would probably think, oh, he's got presenting from Love Island. No, he was doing it before.
Yeah, he was doing it before,
But generally, this isn't about Love Island, it's not about X Factor, it's not about Big Brother, it's not about any of those shows. X Factor is a bad example because it's about skill. These shows that aren't about having any particular skill you've worked on, they're about, in many ways, like appearances. It's dangerous because what happens then is you get famous for looking a certain way, or a show that no longer exists, or you're not on anymore. So you come out of it, yes, you've got your million Instagram followers and whatnot, and you can make good money from it, no doubt about it. People only know, even Toby. None of those people that watch that show have ever met Toby. But there's loads of them at one time sending death threats to him on Instagram that he won't see until he gets out. He will see them eventually.
100%.
And he was probably hopefully prepared for that when he went in there. But when he's not on the show anymore, obviously this stuff's going to run out eventually, these opportunities and whatnot. If you're not very, very comfortable in your own skin, and you realise the thing that for 6 months after the show I was getting champagne every club and all these girls are coming, and then suddenly just goes away. And
your likes start going down because they care about the new contestants. They don't care about you anymore.
Exactly, and you're not a singer or an actor or whatever that can go, or a writer who can go away and go, cool, I'm going to have my... Ed Sheeran goes on these sabbaticals, doesn't he, for a year? He goes missing and he comes out with a new album. Because he backs himself. I don't need you to tell me I'm relevant. I'm going to just go away, live my life and write a new album, and you'll like it because I'm sick of what I do.
Of course.
And that's basically what I like in people. I just think these other guys, I'm sure there's people on these shows that have got a lot of skills, because they got famous for something that's not skill related or talent related, they can't get it back. It's not in their control.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm the best freaking thing ever, but I do back myself in the sense of if I went off the radar tomorrow, if hashtag cease to exist, if no one, all my videos were deleted, if I ever wanted this again, I'll back myself to do it.
To be able to do it.
It would have to be very different, and obviously I'm older now and it has to be a very different thing, but if I suddenly woke up and really wanted to be in the public eye, which I don't think would be something I would crave, if I did, I'd just back myself to do it again. Because why am I in the industry otherwise? If I don't think I can do
if you don't think
otherwise, you're hoping for handouts. You're hoping that someone's going to put me on a show and think I've got enough abs to be attractive, and then I can get followers.
And that happens with reality sometimes. People jump from reality show to reality show. There have been people that's gone on other shows because they're like, oh, I need to be popular again. So it is, that is very, very fair.
It comes back to always. It's like a direct. I don't know who's watching this, but if there is any young guys watching this that think they want to be a YouTuber right now, so actually analyze why do you want to be a YouTuber. If it's because you think they earn loads of money, there's loads of ways you can earn money that maybe don't involve you sacrificing privacy. Yeah. So I wouldn't advise YouTube. Yeah. There's loads of easier ways to earn money personally. If it's for fame and notoriety, then do you want to be famous and well known for having a skill or just because you've got numbers next to your name? Because that goes like that. It's very willy-nilly. Work out the thing you want. For me, it was always about enjoying my job. That was always the thing. So I didn't. If I woke up and said I want to be a lumberjack, I'd be buzzing to be a lumberjack. Yeah, because that's
that's what you want to do.
All I want to do. It's not about whether people like me for being a lumberjack. It just happened to be that things I wanted to do, if you're good at them, came with some level.
I like how you use lumberjack as an example.
Sometimes I want to be a lumberjack. It's simple life.
So random.
Sometimes it's quite pure life. Just cut down some trees in a little cabin somewhere. Yeah, I probably will be a lumberjack.
I think, to be fair, I think you might end up being a lumberjack when you retire. But I think I would end it on that. Spencer FC moving on to being a lumberjack. After he quits YouTube to be a lumberjack. But no, I think that was a very good one. I think that's the longest one I've done. And I'm, like I said, very, very grateful that you come on. I really, really do appreciate you coming on because I've wanted to do this and you've given me the opportunity, so thank you so much.
I'm sorry that it went on for so long.
Listen, I would want it to go for longer if I could, but so I'm going to end it here. That's been Spencer FC, Spencer Owen. Why'd you go for Spencer FC? Spencer Football Club.
Spencer Football Club, football channel, FIFA channel.
Oh.
I was like, it's multifaceted.
Yeah, I like that.
That's it, really.
I like that.
People actually think my surname's FC.
Yeah. It's mad. That's been Spencer FC. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys are listening to the audio, follow whatever you do on there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe so you guys can see more of these kind of chats. And I will do more of these with loads of other guests that I do love and respect and want to get good stories out of. And I will see you guys next time. So, bye. And remember, what was it? Don't go changing. Don't go changing. Don't go changing. Bye, guys. Take care.